Welcome back everyone to another episode here on the channel. How are you all doing today? We are back with Le Mans Ultimate My Drive, my little homemade career mode here for LMU. We are back today with round 7. We're absolutely fine through this season here, and we are back today with round 7, round Fuji. Last race out, if you haven't seen it, go back and check it out. We started our fly-offs for the end of the season, starting off at Bahrain with a sprint, and we had a very exciting race. Buemi ended up winning the race. No, Pierre Guidi won the race. Buemi was a close second behind, and the Alpine of Chatham finished in third. We managed to get quite a good recovery drive up into 5th position, which means we still lead the championship. We've got about a 16-point lead over Buemi, and then have the number 7 car of Conway / Maria Lopez in 3rd position. Ferrari are winning the constructors, or currently leading the constructors by about 32 points back from Toyota, obviously the 3-car pairing, scoring consistently, and Toyota are leading the team. So we've got a good mix of championship standings heading into the final few races. If you are enjoying the season and the content here on the channel, please subscribe, please give this video a thumbs up, comment down below if you're enjoying it, what you'd like to see from the future. All that support is very much appreciated. But we'll turn our focus towards the start of this race. We unfortunately are starting back in 20th position, so the last of the GTPs, which is really frustrating because I feel like we're really good round Fuji. So we'll just have to unlock a bit of that pace. We've got Bamba and Maria Lopez up at the front of that number 7 car in prime position to score some good points today. Buemi as well in 5th place. So we are going to need a good recovery drive to not lose too many points to the Toyotas. Bennett is also up in 3rd position. The random good orders seem to be giving Bennett and the Zossa Fraschini a high position, so we'll have to see if a train forms and how quickly we can make our way through that train. But it's a long run down towards the start-finish line. We're all eager to go here for the 90 minutes of Fuji. And we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. But finally it's green light, it's out, and away we go. We've already got to jump on Pierre Guidi, our previous winner from last round. We've already got to jump on him and potentially his teammate off for Fuego as we charge out toward turn 1. Looks like the 4-wheel drive of the Ferrari just giving him that slight benefit in the straight line speed and towards a very heavy braking. So we're going to dive down the inside, see if we can make a move there. Just have to stick behind him for now. We've got the BMWs, the GT3s are right behind us, being led by that beautiful BMW M4. We are just going to take it nice and easy at the start. No need to overheat our tyres. It's a long race, a long way to go. See up ahead. Fuego's made a bit of a monster start here. He's got past Van Dorn and Campbell, already up in 16th place, chasing down the other Peugeot. We, on the other hand, are just warming our tyres up nice and easy. And through this final sector especially, I feel like we're quite quick against the AI. Seem to be quite quick everywhere against the AI, really. I've turned the difficulty up slightly. I just seem to gel really well with Fuji, apparently. It'd be interesting to see what downforce levels we're running as well. I think I might be running slightly less than the AI. Obviously a very long back straight, which we've just gone to now, so really want to make the most of that lower downforce. But we are definitely taking the approach of the tortoise here. Not charging out the blocks, just building up the pace, building up slowly. Letting the race come to us. And we've got the Peugeot of Van Dorn ahead of us. One of our bitter rivals this season. Not in terms of pace running, as we've had a massive moment there, almost losing it at 100R. Really, really fortunate there to keep it on the track. Just got too wide on the exit curb. And like, almost raced over before it began. So that is not what we would have wanted at all. We're going to have to recompose, get our head down, and concentrate on the cars up ahead. We've got Van Dorn right ahead of us in the Peugeot. Then Pierre Guidi, who is following Campbell, who is following Fuoco, who is following the other Peugeot of Nico Muller. Nico Muller is not too far off the back of the second of the BMWs of Van der Linde in the art car number 20. Lapierre ahead of them is charging towards the back of Van der Linde's teammate of Van Thor. As we see in the background there, Fuoco making a move on Muller, getting that position up into 15th place, and that's caused Muller to drop back behind Campbell and potentially Fuoco here as well. Fuoco's got the move done, or Pierre Guidi even has got the move done. So Muller got pushed slightly wide there into turn 1 and let 3 cars through, so it's really important to pick your battles there. And as we've seen in recent, all throughout the season already, the Peugeots are at the back of the field. Up at the front of the field we have Lopez, who will quickly dive up to the front of the field. Lopez in the number 7 Toyota has driven away from Bamba here. I've decided we're going to combine the points of Conway and Lopez. I think Lopez was added because Conway was ill for Le Mans, I think. So I think they've updated the driver there. But it's still the number 7 car, so we're just going to combine the points. So he's on a charge here at Toyota's home track. Bamba in second place for Cadillac, so he'll be looking for a good result, potentially a podium for them. And then Bennett's still hanging on to third place at the moment. We're going to jump back onto ourselves here. Oh, we've gone too far there actually, onto the GT3s. And at the moment, it's not looking like a particularly great race for us. I've, bigged up my pace around here. I'm still in last place. Already 15 seconds off the lead, so we're going to have to start making places soon. Through 100R here, we seem to get quite good runs through here. And this braking turn here is potentially one of the most difficult on the entire track. I feel like you can so easily be pulled into that corner, go very deep, and lose a whole hunk of time. And through the chicane here, we seem to be very good. A little bit of wheel spin there for Van Dorn ahead. We're going to have to try and get past these Peugeots as safely and as quickly as we can. As I mentioned before, the Peugeots seemingly not liking us this season. I know in our test season of Season 1, when we were in the Ferrari against the wingless Peugeots, we were there. They were our main rival, really. But with this new winged variant, they don't seem to have the pace. But we do on the start-finish straight. We're sat in the slipstream here of Stoffel Van Dorn ahead. You see, as we get into the second half of the straight, we get excellent top-line speed. We're going to look for a move down the inside. Can we be later on the brakes? Van Dorn looks to try and push us to the inside, but we get the move done, and we are up into 19th place, finally making a move in for this race. Maria Lopez at the front of the field already has a 5-second lead over Bamba. We now have our sights set on Nico Muller in the 93 Peugeot. it's pretty much a train from Bennett, or from Bamber even in second, all the way down to Pierre Guidi in 17th. So we want to get past Muller as quickly as possible to join that train. I think the Peugeots might be slightly lacking in straight line speed, but like I say, with our slightly lower downforce setup, we seem to have excellent top speed in the second half of the straight. So hopefully we can utilise that to move our way up the train here. And we're right into the slipstream of Muller here, pulling towards the start-finish straight. Can we get a move done on him like we did on his teammate previously? Is he going to defend the inside? He leaves us the inside free, so Peugeot's not put up too much of a fight this weekend. And into the braking zone, we get the move done, and up into 18th place. So got the tyres to a nice warm temperature now. There's no rain on the radar for this race, but it is very overcast and quite chilly. But luckily, corners like this, like 100 are very long duration corners, give plenty of opportunities to heat up the tyres. But then obviously you've got a very, very long straight, which cools them down quite a bit, so it's very difficult to manage tyre temperatures here. And we'll cut ahead for a little while we try and catch up to the back of Pierre Guidi. We've got one mini train here of Van der Linde, Fuoco, Campbell and Pierre Guidi. Got the other BMW holding up Lapierre. Lapierre always seems to be behind Chatham. And then we move we have Rasmussen, Nil Johnny in the proto competition, Porsche. Our teammate Bortoletti currently in the top 10, which is brilliant to see. He's a little bit off the back of Chatham in the Alpine. Kubit's obviously the winner of Le Mans in the 83F course in 7th place. He's chasing down Will Stevens in the leading Jota Porsche. Kevin Estra is in 5th position, leading Penske Porsche's challenge, and Buemi now is right on the back of Bennett. So he'll be looking for a way past as soon as possible. But Bennett getting pulled along nicely by Bamber, so looks like Bamber's a little bit caught on the bottom at the moment. Yeah, that is after Fiskini. I think has scored in both the past races, I think, or at least definitely the past race. So having a good showing here at the moment. We see Buemi and the number 8 trio are just all over the back of him, looking left, looking right, trying to find any way past that he can. See if on the start finish straight he can get a lot good, but I think we're going to cut onto ourselves at the back of the pack, because I feel like we've just got up to the back of Campbell actually. So Campbell has been overtaken by Pierre Guidi, and now we are on the back of this train as well. Charging down towards turn 1. Will there be any late dive bomb moves here? Bit too far back for that, so just have to stay behind, get a good run through turn 1. And we are about to come through some GT3 traffic here. So, we're already just over 10 minutes in and we have traffic, so it's going to be pretty much traffic affected for the rest of the race here. And the BMW seem to really be lacking pace around here. Our car seemingly having quite good change of direction in the slower speed corners. I would say the only place that we really miss out is sometimes it's a bit difficult through turn 1 and traction out of the final corner. I think our traction control setting hampers us quite a bit out of here. See, I feel like the Porsche pulls away there. And then in the slipstream, we will just inch closer and closer towards the back of the number 5 Porsche. We've got some GT3 track here. There is a Ferrari 296. We're going to go for an audacious dive move there. Campbell perhaps taking it easy because of the traffic up ahead. And we take full advantage. And that is us up into 17th place. Just waiting for the standings to update there. So the standings are a little bit behind us. In reality. And now we're going to look for a move. I thought for a minute there we were going to go around the outside of the Ferrari there around 100R. We're actually going to dive down the inside of the next hairpin. Going very deep there. Yeah, see, Pierre really thinks about turning in, has to back out of it, and that is us up another position. So very opportunistic move there. As there's a bit of collision there, we go very, very, very deep there. And that was almost a huge accident. I think we just got caught out on the brakes. And didn't expect the GT3 cars to be quite so slow there. Fortunately, missing out on a collision there, thanks to the GT3s turning out there, so that was a big mistake on my part. But our teammate Bortoletti's fallen right down the pack here, as we're now looking around the outside of this corner. Can we get the move done down the inside of the BMW? We get good traction down towards turn 1, and it looks like we're side by side, a drag race between us and the number 20 car. Are we going to box him in? We box him in slightly, he goes to the left hand side, bumped into the back of the Ferrari and loses another position. 2K really behind us, so Van der Linde really had a good time of things there. And again, are we going to dive down the inside of the Ferrari? Make another move down into turn 1. And it's just overtake left, right and centre. What's that like? In the course of half a lap, like 3-4 overtakes on GTP cars. We are feeling very punchy in this race. Lopez at the front of the field has lost quite a bit of time to Bamper behind. We know the importance of these standard races. A lot more points are offered than in the sprints. And from now till the end of the season, I think we've got 3 standard races left and 1 sprint, so it's crucially important to the score. Good point today. Like I said, we seem to be very consistent, but we seem to be lacking those wins, which is hampering us a little bit. And you see just an absolute gaggle of cars up ahead. We've got BMWs, Lamborghinis, Porsches. We're going to look around the outside. We're going to go look right around the outside there. We'll get the move done past our teammate, but there is a McLaren up ahead, and it causes a huge chaos in the back there. That is Inception McLaren with no rear wing, and we run straight into the back of, I believe that was Neil Jarney there. So we're now going to fall down massively in this race. We've got the BMWs, the Porsche of Matt Campbell, Pierre Guidi going past us, and we have damage on our front nose. We've got Muller diving down the inside of the Peugeot. And is the other Peugeot going to get a good run through turn 1? I think he is. And Vantor's going to be up past us as well. So we're just so unsighted into that incident. The McLaren there having lost a rear wing. Van Dorn even pulling an insane move around the outside there, which then turns to the inside of 100R. And all that work that we've done, we were looking at maybe a top 10, and we've fallen down to 20th, and we're going to have to make an earlier scheduled pit stop. We've got the BMW there going either side, diving down the inside. Can we get the move done on Van der Linde? We just about get it stopped through the hairpin chicane and up into 90th places. This race has just been turned on its head. So much drama, so much action already happening, and we're only less than 20 minutes into this race. Still a long way to go. I'll have to wait and see whether we dive into the pits this time or carry on for one more lap. I think we're going to dive into the pits. I think it might only be bodywork damage that we have, but it's still very off-putting. The car still very off. I think we had quite a big lock-up there, trying to avoid the incident as we come into the pits. We will jump up the field to see what action is happening up here between Ferrari's our teammate having a little squabble. Seems like most of the GT3 traffic has been overtaken now. See Pierre Guidi, our teammate, of course, Letty, driving past the leader of GT3. So yeah, I think what happened in that incident is a GT3 McLaren was missing its rear wing and was very slow out of the final corner, and with 5-6 hypercars there, we were accelerating, expecting everyone else to be accelerating at the same rate, and what ended up happening was, I think Neil Jarney in the Proton competition broke to try and avoid the McLaren. We weren't expecting it and just rammed straight into the back of him. So that is not going to be good for our championship hopes, as we're going to fall a lap down here even. So we have Maria Lopez at the front of the field, 7.6 seconds to Earl Bamber behind. So both of them managed to stay out of trouble at the start. Buemi has managed to make his way past Bennett and is now running in third position for Toyota. So brilliant result so far for Toyota at their home race. Bennett is then quite happily in fourth, with Kevin Estra behind him, being chased down by Robert Kubica in the bright yellow AF Corsa. We then have Chatan in the first of the Alpines, followed by Will Stevens, Chatan's teammate Lapierre, and then Will Stevens' teammate Oliver Rasmussen. Fuoco is then just outside the top 10 in 11th place, being chased down by the man we crashed into, Neil Jarney. So I'll expect he will have some damage to repair on the rear end of his Porsche 963. Van Thor then leads through the BMWs in 13th place with Campbell behind, and the last of the Ferraris, Pierre Guidi, last time's winner, in 15th. Of course, Letty, our teammate, has slipped down from being in the top 10 to 16th place, and then the two Peugeots at the back of the field, followed closely by Van der Linde, and we are at the back of all of them, dropping down massively in this race, a lap behind. Obviously, the other drivers will still have to come in and do their pit stops, so we will jump up, but that is not ideal for our race and our championship hopes. Cycle up the field to see if we can see any action. Is this potentially an overtake from Matt Campbell on the 15 of Van Thor? Van Thor defending quite aggressively there, seemingly defending free air, as Matt Campbell goes very wide there, braking on the curbs, almost losing the rear end. Is that going to give Pierre Guidi a chance to overtake the number 5 Porsche? Everything kind of stabilising here at the moment. Just flicking through to try and find a close battle. I think probably our battle down here for, what is this, 9th position between Lapierre, Rasmussen and Fuoco. It's probably one of the best battles on the grid at the moment. I suppose while we're in a bit of a quiet period of time before we get to some pit stop action, I hope you guys are excited for the new update coming to Le Mans Ultimate on 25th of February. I saw the release, the press release of it yesterday, and I am very excited. And for those of you who are unaware, Le Mans Ultimate is bringing a few new changes. Mainly, well, firstly the addition of three new GT3 cars to bolster up the field. So they've been slowly releasing GT3 cars throughout the past few updates. Obviously, we got the free update of the McLaren 720S. They've now also added the BMW M4, the Ferrari 296, and the Corvette, all as paid DLCs. Coming in this update is another free GT3 car of the Ford Mustang, which I'm very excited to give a go. Not really driven the Ford in any capacity in any other racing sims, so I'm excited to give that a go. Also coming in the paid update is the Porsche 911, which is a fan favourite car. I love the Porsche, as well as the Aston Martin, but it's actually the other updates to the game that I'm more excited about. So we're getting updates to the HUD, so you'll now be able to see what tyres of the cars are on, what energy they're using, and some damage indicators, which will be really helpful when I'm actually doing the race. Perhaps if I decide to do some races from fully point of view, it's going to be really useful for you guys to see what's happening. Some updates to the AI. Obviously, we know sometimes we don't know what they're doing with fuel or tyres. We know now that they're only going to change tyres if they absolutely need to. So they'll be a bit more smart when it comes to strategy. And one of the things I'm most excited... Well, actually, before I move on to that, we've also done the tyre thing of being able to set tyre allocations, which is going to be really exciting. Season 3 of my drive. At the moment, there's like kind of not an unlimited allowance of tyres, but it may as well be unlimited because there are so many tyres that you can use within a race. I think it's like 56 sets or something, or 56 tyres. So you'll be able to fine tune how many of those tyres you actually use, or allow. So we will be playing around with that for Season 3. The other big update which is coming, which will affect Season 3 of my drive career mode, is alternative track layouts. Now this is something which, in like an F1 game, I'd kind of scoff, because you know F1 obviously goes to 25 different circuits a year. Adding an alternative layout of the pre-existing circuit kind of feels a bit cheap. But in the case of the World Endurance Championship, obviously there's only 8 races they go to in a season. I think that's maybe 9 races they go to in a season. And I'm glad that they've allowed or kept the previous races that we don't go to anymore, like Sebring, which is up next week, and like Portimao and Monza. But they're bringing alternative track layouts, which I'm very, very excited about. So here at Fuji, they're bringing a track layout where, rather than making this corner here and go through this little chicane, you go through where those barriers are, making it a bit less clunky, because that sequence of corners definitely is quite clunky to drive through. Makes it a bit more gives the track a bit more flow. So I'm excited for that. Monza without chicanes, Le Mans without chicanes. Some changes, some track layouts for Kota and Sebring, where they're a bit shorter, a bit tighter, a bit twistier. And then one of my favourites is Bahrain is getting a few different layouts. One of them being, although actually I'm going to cut off for a second there, as we've got some cars coming into the pits. We have our leader Lopez into the pits with Duemi as well. And we'll have to wait and see who else pits. We've got Q-bits of both of the Jota Porsches of Will Stevens and Rasmussen. Neil Johnny, the other Porsche of Campbell, I believe that is, or is that? Yeah, Campbell. We have one of the Alpines of Chatan, the 2 Toyotas, and the Isotta Fraschini. And what that is going to mean is that we finally get our lap back. So I'm actually going to find where we are, because it'll be interesting to see where we come out compared to these guys up ahead. I think I've gone too far, as I don't know where I am. There we are. So we're about halfway through as they are in the pits now. Obviously we're still going to be a lap down depending on if Bamber pits or not. But pit stop here, you know, normally you're stationary for about 50 seconds if you're taking fuel and tyres, plus whatever the drive down is. It's quite a long pit lane here. And we'll have to see how we've done on this opening part of our stint. I feel like being in the clean air probably does some good. Just being able to focus on our pace, focus on getting the laps down, getting the pace dialed in. And up ahead, all the cars that we're about to come up to, which we need to unlap ourselves from, have all pitted, and we get clean air now down towards turn 1. So that is Bennett and Stevens coming out. We've actually jumped up past them and are up into 17th place. So we've made a few gains there, even though we had to repair for some damage. So I would imagine that both the Isotta Moschini, unfortunately dropping down very far, has had some damage. And now we are right on the back of Kubica. Are we going to dive it down the inside on his cold tyres? We get the move done just about into the hairpin after 100R, and we get the move up past the 83 Ferrari. So we've absolutely flown up the field here. In 16th place, and Buemi is the next car up ahead. So Buemi must have had massive damage. Either that or we've been absolutely rapid here. Because Buemi was up in 3rd. So we're obviously now on an offset strategy as well. So we'll have to see how that equalises over the next hour. But very interesting indeed. We've got some other cars in the pits. Bamber has gone for an extra lap. I believe. Or did he pit this lap? He might have pitted this lap, and Bamber might actually be in the lead. We'll have to wait and see what he does on the following lap. But it looks like a bit of a shake-up at the front. Indeed, it is a shake-up. Quite a bit of a shake-up. As we'll get onto the Peugeots in just a second. Oh, we've gone too far. So we have Bamber here, leading the race for Cadillac. What a insane turn of events this is. Obviously, maybe not having damage, and that saved him quite a bit of time. But he now leads the race by 11 seconds. We'll just wait on board with him for a little while to see if he pits this lap. See if it's just a case of he's gone a little bit extra on fuel. But no, Bamber in the number 2 Cadillac leads this race. Behind him, Kevin Estra somehow has jumped up into 2nd place. Maria Lopez, who was leading the race quite happily, has dropped down into 4th position. So I guess he probably got some quite a bit big of damage from some of the back mark from some of the GT3 cars. He's now behind Chatan, who's in 3rd position. Then we have Oliver Rasmussen in the first of the Jota Porsches in 5th, followed by Fuoco and Matt Campbell in the number 5 Porsche. The Peugeots are up in the top 10. How on earth did that happen? Although the 94 on Van Dorn has just been overtaken by Buemi there. So obviously Peugeot's lacking that top line speed. We find ourselves in 11th place, just out of the points. Somehow we've managed to pull ourselves back up there. Kubica follows us in 12th position, followed by Stevens in the Jota Porsche. We get a bit of an unfortunate camera angle there. Bennett falling down massively. Was in 3rd position, now in 14th. Lapierre down in 15th of the 2nd Alpines, followed by the Proton Competition Porsche. Our teammate Bortoletti in 17th. Pierre Guidi down in 18th. When was that a spin for Pierre Guidi there, did I say? No, just looked like a spin. And then the 2 BMWs massively off the pace, so chaos at the first pit stops. We'll make our way back up the field. We're currently about 5 seconds off of this man, Van Dorn. So we'll watch to see but when we get past these first of Peugeots, he got past the Peugeot's teammate quite easily last lap. What can he do on this attempt? He's just going to have to stay behind for now, but there is a GT3 car just up ahead of them. Peugeot and Toyota going either side of the Ferrari there. And let's see if we can find any other particularly close battles we have. Oh, this could be a bit tasty. We've got Maria Lopez right on the gearbox of Chatan. So what can the number 7 Toyota do here? Can he get a good run on him? Down towards turn 1. Looks like Chatan got quite a good run out of the last corner there. It's going to be a brave move from Lopez if he does try one on turn 1. But we'll just continue on board with Lopez for the time being. As I was saying, Bahrain has got some new layouts which I'm very excited about. They've got the outer loop that everyone used a few years ago in COVID season, so I'm very excited to do a race there. I've started making plans for season 3, or what will happen after season 2, going into season 3. So I'm very excited to share those details with you in a few weeks' time once we get to the end of this season 2. Before then, we have some important business to finish off. Only a few rounds left now. After this race, we will be flying off to the Americas. We have a sprint at Sebring, followed by back-to-back 90-minute races at Circuit of the Americas and Sao Paulo for our season finale. Seems like Lopez just taking it easy into turn 1. Not getting flustered that he's behind Chatan, although I think Bamba out in the lead is absolutely romping away with it. Sorry, a bit of technical difficulties there. But we have the pair of Lopez and Chatan closely followed by Rasmussen and Furoco. So yeah, I think I was just saying there that Bahrain bringing the outer layout, which I'm very excited for. We've got lots of plans for season 3. I'm excited to share with you guys. Hopefully you've been enjoying this, homemade career mode. If you'd like to see anything else, not even necessarily Le Mans Ultimate related, I've been doing some online races, trying to get my safety rating up, if you'd be interested in seeing them, or even some other games. I've got quite a few games on my wish list this year, which I might potentially play when they eventually come out. Some non-racing related games. One in particular that I've been enjoying the demo of is a game called Cairn, which is like a climbing survival game. So if you guys be interested in seeing other videos that aren't necessarily race related, then drop a comment down below and let me know. In other news, we have the prologue happening this weekend for WEC, where the cars will be out on track at Qatar doing some pre-season testing ready for the next week at Qatar. I'm very excited for Qatar to come in the May update. Bit of a shame that it's taken so long to be added into the game. But I'm excited nonetheless for when that arrives in a few months' time. In fact, I was watching a WEC video the other day, kind of introducing WEC. Oh, actually, sorry, I'm just going to cut myself off there. Lopez has managed to get past Shatan, I think the BMW there, just causing a slight bit of interference has allowed the number 7 car to jump up into the top 10 and unleash him to chase after Kevin Estra. Now the Jota Porsche of Rasmussen is right on the back of Shatan. It's like the Ferrari of Fuji has been held up a little bit there by the Corvette. We'll now wait to see if Rasmussen can follow the Lopez through and overtake Shatan. We are currently about 1.5 seconds back of Van Dorn, so we might just go jump back onto ourselves for a moment. There we are. Traffic coming up in a lap or two's time. Yeah, as I was saying, I was watching a video that the WEC had done on YouTube, kind of giving a little intro to the season, to some of the cars. The presenter asked some of the drivers a very good question. What is their favourite livery about their own car? And I want to know from you guys, what is your favourite livery from the 2025 cars? I think there's some beauties out there. I love the Iron Dames car, the Iron Lynx, Mercedes. Obviously Mercedes coming to GT3 this year. He asked, I'm most excited for the Valkyrie. That 12 Aston Martin is going to sound gorgeous. I love the BMW livery. I think the WEC cars are quite beautiful, but we're going to look for a move on the inside of Van Dorn here. Can we get the move done? Heavy braking into turn 1 and we get the move done. Slicing past 94 and up into the top 10. We are back on a charge. We kind of have to play the long game here a little bit and go a bit longer on strategy, try and save some fuel, make up that deficit that we've lost. It's a little bit ironic that the Lamborghini in the game seems to be, at least we're finding it quite a good car. Quite contradictory to the troubles that it's had in real life. Obviously not racing in the WEC this year because of the 2-car requirement, I believe. Obviously now each team has to run at least cars, and Lamborghini only wanted to run the one, so we're in WEC. They are still racing in IMSA though they had a terrible first race at Daytona, only making it about half an hour into the race, I believe, before hitting. Fortunately, we have no kind of trouble like that. We are already right onto the back of the next of the Peugeots of Nico Muller. So quite a bit of traffic on the track map. that we will have to try and weave our way through here. Going around the outside of the GT3's round 100R. Balancing the throttle through there. Can we get a move done? No, we're just too far behind. But there, with a good run out of here and down towards the chicane might help us. And another few GT3s up ahead. Looks like the Peugeot there is going to get held up a little bit. We are going to go around the outside. Are we going to look for a move through the penultimate corner? We go very wide indeed. Can we get a little like switchback maybe? We get bank tyres a little bit there. And again we're going to switch, go right round the outside of the final corner, switch it back, cut underneath Peugeot. And the Peugeot is going to be very aggressive here. I think it's going to defend right to the inside. We're going to pick the outside line here. You see the overspeed that we get on it. The Peugeot's trying to box us in the Corvette there, but we're having none of it. We move ourselves across the front of the D3. It even looks for a little move back down the inside, but we are up into 9th place. Great racing there. Actually managing to clean a fight with the Peugeots for once. And now we have about a 6-second gap to Buemi up ahead. So I think the rest of this stint might be quite quiet from us as we just try and pull ourselves up onto the back of the number 8 with chasing down Campbell here. I'll give you a little run down of the field now halfway through the race. We have Bamber leading for Cadillac at the field. Funny that the Cadillac seem to do well here in real life. I think they got pole maybe last year, maybe the year before. So Bamber running up 15 seconds ahead of the second place number 7 Toyota. Just across the grass there trying to get past some of the GT3s. Maria Lopez, who leading this race quite comfortably, lost lots of time in the pit stops. Down, well, was to 4th. I think Estra was in second at one point. It's now up into second place. Chatan and Estra follow each other closely behind in 3rd and 4th position. With the first of the front worker not too far behind them either. And Oliver Rasmussen another second or two back from the Ferrari. We then have the second Penske Porsche, Matt Campbell, who has Buemi right on his gearbox. Some traffic up ahead for these two, so maybe we'll stick on board, see if Buemi can take advantage here. Buemi goes down the inside of the penultimate corner. Can he get the traction? He gets the move done. And before the apex of the corner, so Matt Campbell kind of just letting the Toyota have that position. And now Buemi is up into 7th place. Behind this pairing we have ourselves leading the final points paying Peugeot of Nicola and the second place Peugeot. The second on the road Peugeot of Van Dorn in 11th place. Peugeot having quite a good race here today. Not often we say that. Kubica has fallen down quite a bit from being in the top 10 to now being 12th placed. We have Stevens, who has the Zotto Fruschini of Bennett behind him. I feel like Bennett might have made up a few positions here in this state, which would be quite impressive for the Zotto Fruschini. He has Lapierre right behind him. Not too far behind them is the protein competition Porsche of Neil Gianni and our teammate Bortoletti. the final Ferrari off Pierre Guidi, the man who won last time out in Bahrain, having a torrid time of things today in 18th position. But the two BMWs of Van der Linde and Van Thor are having an even worse time of it. All the way down in 19th and 20th, with Van Thor being 20 seconds off the back of his teammate. Let alone where Bobby Bamba will probably be on the back of him not too soon, won't be too far away from him. There's one with that. Or something on the BMW does not like working. Should we see if it's not the same on this one? And also perhaps some damage for the number 15 BMW there. The camera has stopped working. I've never seen that before. And I'd say we'll cycle our way back up onto ourselves, but we have just come into the pits for our second stop. So we are definitely going to have to make one more stop in this race. But we can be pretty happy with that stint, I feel like, you know, we were very, very far down. I think we've gained a few laps back potentially on our strategy offset. And hopefully that will put us in a good shout in the remaining half of this race. Not too long left now. Just approaching the 40-minute mark. As you see there on the left side of your screen, we are just coming out behind this traffic. So I'm going to cut back onto myself here. I've got to go all the way back. There we are. So we've got some difficulties now. We have Buemi behind us, obviously a lap ahead of us, or I say behind us, going round the outside of us through 100 yards. See cold tyres for us, having just come out for that pit stop, but we should be quite a bit quicker soon. We've got Matt Campbell not too far, so we're going to have some blue flags here. I have to try and keep the pace up so that we don't get any from them. Still not 100% sure how the blue flags work in this game. I feel like I've been penalised before, which I don't think is the way it should work, but we'll just have to try and keep the pace up and try and avoid those blue flags. We might see them around the circuit. I would have seen them on dashboard maybe. Our dashboard missing some quite crucial features on there that we obviously see when we're racing but isn't necessarily recorded, such as our battery, our fuel, our energy usage. So we'll have to try for the next few laps to push as hard as we can to stay out of the blue flag zone. Off Campbell, I think you're about a second ahead, you're okay. And then soon they will start to pit. We should be unleashed to the end of the race. looks like we've managed to a little bit of a gap to Campbell behind. This offset strategy really makes it difficult to figure out where we are in this race. We might cut forward for a minute or two. A bit of a gaggle of cars here. And Bennett get past Shatan here. I think he might just about be safe. But the Proton competition Porsche and Lamborghini are not too far behind. This Bortoletti almost looks to move on the outside there here, Johnny. Doesn't quite get the position though. And here, well, we're just behind. Well, I mean, got Fuoco and Rasmussen battling here as Burmy looks to go up the inside. We're right behind this trio of cars here. What do we do? Obviously, we want to get past them, but we don't want to get blue flagged. We're swooping around the outside. Do we get a good run down towards turn one? Feel like we got a really good exit out of there. Buemi's going to get caught up behind the BMW. We don't squeeze them in, but we get a run and we're past Buemi, interfering with this battle here. Can we move on? The Porsche as well. Buemi's going to dive it down the inside, which I think is the wrong move here because we do the pace and are probably quicker than the cars ahead, so we might be able to put them on, let Buemi overtake. And up at the front of the field, Lopez has pushed in on Bamber by about 4 seconds, I think. Gap now down to about 12-13 seconds. And Rasmus is really, really slow. And from the back of the Porsche, quite a bit of damage there, it looks like, on the right-hand side of his rear bodywork. You see we're right on his gearbox. Can we get a good run at final corner and unlap ourselves again? See some cars behind coming into the pits. I think that is the Porsche of Matt Campbell. And in the second phase of the straight, we get excellent straight line speed. Buemi again looking for a move inside. Pushes us a little bit wide actually, which isn't ideal. We've got some GT3s up ahead. Can we get past the Corvette before that sharp left-hander? We just about do. That's going to put us in Buemi's grasps. There's almost 3 wide there through 100R. We are now fighting to try and not lose time here. Kind of a issue with this alternative strategy is that we've come out, a lap behind, and it's meant that we're running in traffic that we would be fighting. We weren't too far off the back of Buemi. You see potentially damage on the front right hand fender of Buemi as well, so we might be for a bit of a longer stop. Bamber is in the pits. Does Lopez follow? Does Lopez go through? I think Lopez is pitted. Shatan should be pitting as well. And we've got a whole gaggle of cars. Buemi almost collides into the barrier there. That was very close from Buemi. A traffic jam in the pits. So maybe this is how these cars lose so much time. It seems that they're quite slow into the pit lane, and seem to get caught up in quite a fair bit of traffic. Now unleashes us. So we cycle back down to find ourselves eventually. Here we are. Matt Campbell has come out ahead of us. He's 6 seconds ahead. See how that changes as he warms his tyres up. But we'll be looking for a quick, well, I say outlap here. A quick lap while everyone else is making the pit stop to see where we filter into this race. I think from here it might be close, but I think everyone will have to do another stop. But it will be very, very close for some drivers. The BMW of Van Thor carry on for another lap. As we race towards the start-finish line, where will we rejoin in this pack? Some GT3s there. A Jota ahead of us, up into 9th position, I believe. So not as much gains as we made last time. Again, a mix-up at the front of the field, as we've got Porsche and Ferrari going side by side. Matt Campbell and Fuoco, who will come out on top. Campbell will have the hotter tyres, and looks like he's moved on past the 50 off Fuoco, and is up into 5th position, which will eventually become 3rd position. So another shake of positions here coming into the last half. Obviously we've got the BMWs here pitting, but we have Maria Lopez, who has regained the lead. The front of the field has a gap of 8 seconds over Kevin Estra, and the first of Penske Porsches, he's the teammate Matt Campbell, who's right behind him. Campbell on the hotter tyres as well, so might be able to make his way past his teammate up into 2nd place. We then have Fuoco behind that duo. Al Bamba has fallen down into what will be 5th position here, so disastrous pit stop there for Bamba. He has Rasmussen not too far behind, and we are right on the back of Rasmussen. We're actually going to join this battle here. We are up in 7th place. Both Peugeots behind us up into, well, one of the Peugeots is up into 8th position. The other Peugeot of Van Dorn has fallen down into 18th. Kubica and Giant fallen down massively as well, so massive shake-ups in the pits this time. Van Thor has moved, well, we'll wait to see when he comes out of the pits, but Van der Linde has moved up. Van Thor might have moved up. He's fallen down massively, down to 13th place. So another round of pit stop madness. I think we found the title right there. As we've got the Ferrari and Porsche of Campbell, or I think the Campbell Porsche has been overtaken by Fuoco and is now looking to be overtaken by Campbell and ourselves. We go down the inside of the final corner of Oliver Rasmussen. Get a good run down towards turn 1. We're sitting in the train. We know in the second half of this straight we get good straight line speed, and again we pop out of the slipstream down towards turn 1, inside line, in braking zone. Are we going to get 2 moves done here? Looks like we dive down on Bamba as well, and then Bamba loses out to Rasmussen, so we get 2 moves for 1 there, into turn 1. And hopefully we can follow Fuoco through Campbell and get up into 4th position. the gap at the front of the field has opened up to 20 seconds between Lopez and Estra. So Lopez again looks in command of this race, but with another pit stop left to go, who can say who's going to win this race? We see massive swings in position in pit stops. And coming through the final corner now, we get a really nice run. Trying to power down early, taking a bit of a wider swooping line. Can we get a run on the number 5 Porsche? We're gaining. Look to the inside, look to the outside. We're just going to have to sit behind him for now. We get a brilliant run there. I wasn't expecting that. We died on the inside. We actually made contact there with the GT3. Probably the 66 machine there. I really wasn't expecting that move. We got a good run through 100R. Clunked into this, well, audacious move on the number 6. Clunked into the side of the GT3 Ferrari. And again down into the chicane. We get the move done this time. Somehow, fortunately, I think we survived without any damage. From what I remember of this race, I looked at the damage indicator and there was no need to repair anything, so I think that's side-to-side body contact. There's a little bit of cosmetic damage like you see on the front right fender, but no need to repair anything at the pit stop. Very late move there from us, very cheeky move, but that means that we are up into 4th position now. Free to chase after the number 50 Ferrari of Fuoco, who's chasing down Kevin Estra for the runner-up spot in this race. Look behind to see what action is occurring. We have Campbell being chased down by Rasmussen. Not too far from them is Bamber, who... Oh, what heartbreak for Bamber. Leading this race all the way up into 2nd place. You know, going to give Cadillac a very good... was looking to give Cadillac a good finish here. Not had the best of times this season. Down in 7th place, still some good points on offer, but not the points he would have wanted. Behind them there's some quite big gaps. Shatan another one who's fallen right off the pace. You know, he was up in 3rd place at one point and now he's down in 10th. He's had a shocking pit stop there. The pit stops have really been a defining factor in this race. Hopefully again with the last stop we will be able to make up some time. We have Wogo here right on the back of Kevin Estra for the runner-up place. As GT3 BMW them as well. Estra goes down the inside into the corner, gets very sideways. Is this going to allow Fuoco to come down towards turn 1? Estra covers all the way to the inside. Bit of a run through for both of them there. Fuoco decided not to sit in the slipstream. Obviously, probably a quirk of the AI cars, but might have had a better into turn 1 if he had. The more these battle, the more this helps us, as we are not far behind. Only about just over a second from this pair of cars. It suddenly got very dark there. Yeah, overcast, maybe some rain coming towards the end of the session. We will have to wait and see. The cows do look very dark. A few more GT3 cars up ahead. You can see in the track map, traffic is everywhere. Very rare to have a fully clean lap. Is Fuoco going to get caught behind the 155 GT3? It looks like he has, and he's lost some time to Estra ahead. We're going to make an opportunistic move there, going across the ground. Probably should have backed off there. Might have lost some time, but at least we didn't make any contact. So we hit 20 minutes remaining. The clock is ticking down thick and fast here. Estra's managed to put 2 cars between him and Fuoco. And all through this section, Fuoco's getting held up. We overtake the Corvette and are now right on the back of our old team. Another Italian rivalry. Who will come out on top? We get a good run out of the final corner. Can we sit in the slipstream? Use our top to our advantage. We look like we're gaining. Is the Ferrari going to defend? We slip out into the clear air and down towards turn 1. We get the move done. We almost are on the brakes. Lost Fuoco. We get and we're up onto the podium. So great recovery drive from all the way down in 20th position at the start of this race. Obviously we had the collision as well with GT3 McLaren. But now we're looking in a much better position. This will be much better for our championship hopes as well, although the Ferrari looks to come back at us. Gets a little switch back there. It's down towards the chicane, but it looks like we've got the traction out of the hairpin to stay ahead. I think we might be coming for a pit stop soon. Maybe just trying to save one more lap, perhaps. We punch out the final corner. Let's listen on board to see how big the lift and coast is. Not a big lifting coast actually, so perhaps we're not doing too much fuel saving. We've lost quite a bit of time to Estra ahead. Drop back about 4 seconds there. Slicing our way through the McLaren and the Ferrari there. Flashing away, letting the Ferrari know that we're there. Trying to sneak past him into the far corner, go around the outside. And around the outside of the final corner we go there, round GT3 traffic. Take a bit of a second to give you a racing order update before we reach the final round of pit stops. We have number 7, Rui Lopez, up leading the race, far ahead of Kevin Estra and ourselves in 3rd position. The 50 Ferrari of Fuego is in 4th position, being chased down by Kevin Estra and Oliver Rasmussen in the 2 Porsches. Behind them we have El Bamba, who has a bit of a gap to Will Stevens behind him. The first of the Peugeots, Muller, still up in the top 10, so brilliant result for him so far. And then he is followed by Lapierre, who's finally got past Chatan, who's just been overtaken by Remy there. Some traffic affecting this race as it goes through past the Alpine as well. It's a drag race up towards the quick left-hander. Does he box Bennett in? He almost crashes into the back of the GT3 traffic there, but I think he boxed Bennett in. Smart move there. As we see the Ferrari there having a big wobble, so does Bennett. Lots of unstable braking moments here, and is that Corvette lets Pierre Guidi get a move done on Bennett down towards the chicane? I think Bennett just managed to pick the right line through that and squeeze through, but we have Bennett in 13th, and Pierre Guidi in 14th, our teammate Paul Heising 15th, and then Van der Linde, first of the BMWs, 16th. Kubica, Paul raced down in 17th with Van Dorn in 18th. Van Thor a lap down in 19th, being chased by Neil John in 20th position. So we're going to see what battles we can find. There seems to be some quite tight and feisty battles back here. We have Buemi versus Lapierre for the final points position. Buemi looking for a move. Does he get it slowed down in time? Just has to stick behind him for now. And up towards the front of the field we go. We're about 2-3 seconds off the back of Campbell here. I think we've seen it must be time for us to pit. Is it going to be this lap? No, we continue on for another lap. So I think it's going to be might be quite painful into the race, because I know it's hard to know how much of an offset we are on to the other teams and drivers. But, you know, if we're pitting with 10 laps to go, if the other drivers have 5 laps in us, they might be able to make it to the end. So this is panic territory for us. As I feel like when we pit, we're going to come outside the top 10 Obviously, it'll be quite a short pit stop. It's just a splash of fuel. Maybe some tyres. I think in the car I was deliberating over what tyres to put on. Whether to change at all. But I think I decided I'm going to change the left sides only. The front left especially gets quite a beating around here. Through corners like 100R. And the final corner. And this next long duration corner here. And it was just as quick to change the one front left tyre as it was to change both of the left tyres. So I think we're going to change both left tyres when we come into the pit stops, give us that extra bit of grip towards the end. I'm going to pit this lap. It looks like we are attacking the pit lane very aggressively here. So we lock up there and almost go straight into the barrier. I don't quite how I didn't crash there. But you see, us compared to the AI drivers, we're much more aggressive into that pit lane, so I think that's where we do gain a lot of time. We trundle down the pit lane into our pit box. We're falling down the order, falling to 8th, falling to 9th in a second. And with just over 10 minutes left to go, will the other drivers have to make a stop? This could be disastrous for us if everyone else can make it to the end. Our pit stop quite short here, so we'll try and get back onto us. We're leaving the pit lane now. You see, very short pit stop to the others. Just a splash of fuel and left-hand side tyres, which are going to warm up very quickly indeed. But it's dropped us down into 17th position, so if no one else makes a pit stop here, we could be in big trouble. You know, we've been able to cycle our way up the field, but as that's just been through pit stop luck, we're going to have to wait and see what the rest of the dirt does. We'll cut on to right at the front of the field with Lopez. Lopez continues on for another lap. Toyota not having to pit just yet. Will he be in this lap? Again, it was about 5 or 6 laps between us pitting and the AI pitting, so we'll be able to go to the end, and this could be utter disaster for us. The number 7 Toyota here going around to lap the 94 of Van Dorn with under 10 minutes, praying that Lopez dives into the pits this lap. You see how much quicker he is than the Peugeots. Quite astounding really that Muller's been able to stay up in the top 10 for now. And another lap goes by and Lopez does not pit. I would imagine the cars won't pit either. Estra, Fuoco, Rasmussen and Campbell are quite a way behind Lopez here. So we'll cut back and see if we can find a close battle. This looks like quite a close battle between Muller and Buemi. I would imagine Buemi would be straight past him. Well, at least we've got onto the first time of asking. The Toyota having so much more pace compared to the Peugeot. The Peugeot, I mean, Muller's done a fantastic job of still being 9th. No defence put up there by Nico Muller. Behind him we have the 2 Alpines as well. Lapierre still just in the point, leading Chatan and the Zotto Foschini, who's doing remarkably well here. Again, we'll cut up to the front of the field. Lopez through the final corner. Does he pit this lap? He goes to overtake but doesn't pit. So we're now 7 minutes remaining. Lopez still has not pitted. As the clock ticks down, this looks worse and worse for us here. Do any of the other drivers pit? We've got Estra coming through the final corner now. Is he going to pill over to the right hand side? He doesn't. I think Campbell might be one of the earliest people to pit. So we'll look on board with Campbell, see what he is going to do here. He's got some cars to overtake. Goes to the left hand side of all of them and doesn't pit as well. So disaster here. We got in the background there. Chasing down Campbell for 5th position. And we keep checking, see what Lopez is going to do. If he doesn't pit this lap, we'll be into the last 5 minutes of the race. He's diving into the pit lane, so thankfully we have Lopez into the pits. Almost crashing, doing the same crashing it into the barrier. So this could be our redemption here. I'm unsure what these guys will do, whether they'll put, I would presume they'd only put a splash in, but maybe they just auto put fuel in and tyres, so this might be really good for us. We'll just have to wait and see. Estra continues on for another lap, so Estra will take the lead of this race. What will Fuoco do? Fuoco carries on. Fuoco takes 2nd place, so have the Porsches, and Rasmussen continues on, have the Porsches done an absolute masterclass and saved enough fuel. We're closing into the final, 2-3 laps here. 3-4 laps maybe? It's about a minute and a lap. And so far, Conway, the number 7 of Lopez, is the only one to pit. We're right onto the back of Pierre, well, like a few seconds off the back of Pierre Guidi now. Is this us? Actually no, this is our teammate Bortoletti. So we're even further than I thought. Past the BMW, past the Kubica. And this will be us now. Just on the start-finish straight. Lopez is only just coming out of the pits though. There's Lopez, and there's Oscar. Are we about to overtake Lopez for what could be the effective lead of the race? We're going to have to make an overtake here very soon if we come right out on the back of him. Maybe if we had to change cars, we would be ahead of him. But we're going to have to do everything we can. We're going to look for a move around the outside of 100R. Can't quite get the move done there. As the laps go on, his tyres are going to heat up and we're going to lose our opportunity to overtake him. So we're going to need a good run out of here, down in towards the chicane. But we're too far behind. Estra is finally, and I would imagine Fuoco will be in the pits. We are just going to have to stick behind him for now, as the rest of the front run pit. So Estra, Fuoco, Rasmussen could not take their fuel to the end. Looked like Lopez went a little bit wide there. Can we capitalise into the final section of this race? Going to pour one through the penultimate corner there. What about the final corner? Have we got anything down the straight? We've got good straight line speed, but I think he's just a little bit too far ahead of us. We've got Kubica ahead, pulling into the pit lane. And as we come across the line here, overtaking the rest of the pit stoppers, another shake-up has occurred from the pit. We have Earl Bamber still in the lead of this race with 2.5 minutes left. We have Muller and Lapierre battling over the 2nd position. Lapierre looking for a move around the outside of Muller. Muller sticking it down the inside. And can Peugeot pull off an absolute masterclass here? Have they got enough fuel to go to the end? They've been running slower. Maybe this is what they need to get to the end. And with 2 minutes left, where is Bamber? Bamber has crossed the start-finish line, so there will be... No, he hasn't crossed the start-finish line. So with a minute 55 left on the board, or a minute 50 even as he crosses the line here, we have 2 more laps of this race. So can Bamber, has Bamber got 2 laps left in his energy reserves to get to the end? What is the Peugeot going to do here? The Peugeot and Alpine pull into the pit, so they will reluctantly give away position in this race. Which means Lopez will come through into second of the race. We're up into the podium positions of this race. And I believe Fuoco in the 50 Ferrari will be up into 4th position behind us. So we've had absolute chaos here again. And Bamber is potentially about to do the unthinkable for Cadillac, in that he has the potential to win the race. All he needs to do is carry on one more lap of fuel, and he's won this race. Maria Lopez 30 seconds behind. Has Cadillac stolen this race away from the Toyotas? Oh, no, he's pitting! Bamber is pitting on the final lap of this race. And I believe if he crosses the finish line, we will have 1 more lap. Which I think he does so now. So we will have 1 more lap with 15 seconds left. There is 1 more lap to this race. Where does he come out in comparison to Lopez? I think Lopez might retake the lead in this race, and we're having, at this moment, we have realised that we could be in trouble. We start the final lap with about 0.8 laps of fuel, so we do not have enough fuel to get to the end of this race, but we decide not to pit. We are going to continue on and try and fuel save as much as we can. You see how early we are, lifting off the throttle there. Bamber falls down the pack. We've given up on chasing down Lopez for the lead of this race. We are just going to be content with trying to finish on the podium. Bamber finally comes out. And he'll come out behind Campbell and in front of Will Stevens, who's fallen down to 6th place in this race. But we're going to cut to the front of the field again. That's actually too far there. We've got Fuoco right back of us as we are just lifting and coasting. You hear how much we're lifting and coasting. We've got no fuel left, but we've pushed them out wide. We've got some traffic ahead of us to try and help us. Lopez is his way through the final section of this race. Unfortunately, we're about 4 seconds off the back of him, which is fantastic racing from being 20th. But we've got a gaggle of cars here that's going to be held up. We're going to be going super slow through this section. No fuel left. Fuoco is around the outside. Can we push him wide? Does the Ferrari get a switchback on us? Lopez is going across the line to win this race, but it's a drag race down towards the line. Do we have enough fuel to win? Or to come second even? And you hear there, we've cut out. We've got no fuel. And that means Fuoco's going to come past us at the end of the race, right across the finishing line. So after that crazy race around the Mount Fuji area, our drivers, teams and manufacturer standings have been shaken up quite significantly. We still lead the way in the Drivers' Championship, but only have a slender 6-point lead over the number 7 Toyota. A bit further behind them is Buemi, and he is followed by the 3 Ferraris of Fuoco, Kubica and Pierre Guidi. Bennett had a tremendous race this time out. Again, some weird post-race penalties and post-race position changes that always seems to occur, but that meant that he scored 12 points, so he's moved himself right up the championship order. Bamber will be disappointed not to have scored any points at all after being, potentially in contention for the win. And most notably, we'll give a round of applause to Muller and Van Dorn finally scoring some points for Peugeot, getting them on the board. Moving on to the teams, Toyota remain at the lead of the teams championship, putting out a 17-point gap over Ferrari, with us a further 10 points back for Lamborghini Iron Lynx. Peugeot have jumped up ahead of Proton Competition with their points haul, and potentially might be looking to challenge Cadillac depending on what the final few races hold. And Azotta Fraschini has jumped up from what would have been second last in the championship to now ahead of Cadillac as well, only 4 points behind BMW, so could a potential late charge be on for that Italian team. And finally, finishing off with the manufacturers, Ferrari retain their lead of 191 points, but Toyota do gain slightly on them. We are 48 points off of the lead in third place for Lamborghini and Porsche. Alpine, BMW, Azotta Fraschini and Cadillac, and then Peugeot follow that lineup. So that has been the 90 minutes of Fuji. If you have enjoyed, smash that like button, comment down below if you've been enjoying it and what you'd like to see in the future, and subscribe to keep up to date with the rest of the season. As you see, we've only got Sebring, Kota and Sao Paulo left to go, so in such a short time we will be finished with Season 2 of My Drive and potentially be looking forward to the future of Season 3. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have a good weekend, and I'll catch you next week for the Sprint of Sebring.